So let me guess. New year, new you. Me too. All right. So usually around this time, people are cerebral and introspective and, want to put their best foot forward for the new year. And quite honestly, I am no different. All right. I First, let me introduce myself. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Indiana. It's Wine All You Want, where I sip wine and we have conversations about things that adults talk about and sometimes frivolous things. Today I have a Rioja, which is one of my personal favorites. I love Riojas. It's quite honestly, it's my go-to type of wine, my all-purpose. I know that Riojas tend to be paired with specific foods and what have you. But if I had a choice, if someone said, "Hey, you want some wine? What kind?" Rioja. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm asking for. Rioja, Rioja, Rioja. So, before we get into the conversation, since that's what we're going to talk about, let's get into the wine. So, it's a red wine today, the Rioja, and the color is, this is kind of a deep Rioja. It's like a Bordeaux almost, kind of like burgundy, if you will. And when you swirl it, looking at it, there's not really any legs on it. Oh, I should have polished this glass. But there's not really legs on it, so not too many tannins. I don't know why I was about to say talons. I'm thinking about birdies. So not too many tannins, which is part of the reason why I like Rioja. Let's smell this one. So the smell to this one is really faint. Like you smell the alcohol and like a little bit of sweetness to it. It's a 2019 vintage and it's produced and bottled by Bodegas. This, yes, you can get at the grocery store, okay? It wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $10 or less. Maybe a little over $10. But it smells like the smell is faint, like a light sweet smell. So maybe like a watermelon cherry candy. You ever smelled a watermelon Jolly Rancher? How subtle that sweetness is? I think this is what this smells like. And of course the alcohol on top of that. I don't smell many flowers, if any. Sniff it out. I feel like I want some seafood. Like I want a creamy sauce over some type of salmon. When I smell it, that's what I'm craving. We're going to go ahead to taste because I want to drink. Okay, it doesn't taste sweet at all. So this says it's mid-intense, low on the complexity. I agree. I don't smell too much of anything. It don't taste too much. And mid-fruity. So that I can agree on. The tasting here, it says intense red cherry. Okay, I was like, maybe a watermelon cherry Jolly Rancher is what I said. Notable of Tempranillo wine. Distinguished aromas full of vibrant, powerful notes of red fruit, enriched, by subtle hints of vanilla and spices. I can taste a hint of the spices, but not too much. Not too much. Like maybe if I were, well, it says like food pairings, pasta, chicken and medium aged cheeses, fresh salads, and small bites. Now, I said salmon with a creamy sauce, one, because I really don't enjoy chicken myself. Pasta with the creamy sauce, it could have been a pasta. how I'm thinking. Fresh salads and small bites. I definitely always drink wine with a salad. I drink Rioja with everything. Hors d'oeuvres. I don't know if I myself would have these with hors d'oeuvres. I myself may not have these with hors d'oeuvres because I'll throw it back. That's why. Or small bites is what I'm saying. You could have it with small bites because it's my go-to, but I'll drink this like crazy. Now that we kind of got the delicious wine sample cleared out the way or what have you, I want to go ahead and talk about the new year, or at least my plans for the new year. My plans for the new year are essentially to like take over the world domination, nothing too risque. In case you girls want to tussle, I know how you girls like to tussle. But really, though, what I mean by world domination, let me say it in a socially acceptable form. I want to have full control over my own world. I actually took notes, and they're right there. I'm probably going to go off the top of my head because I kind of like to just sip, sample, and get straight through these. I don't like to do a lot of cuts with wine, with my wine videos. But for myself, I have like four evergreen focal points that I want to commit to throughout the year. The first one is being consistent. For the most part, I'm much better at inconsistency than I am at being consistent. And that needs to stop. Because, it's like I don't get much done. Like, being inconsistent doesn't prove anything. Like, it doesn't prove I'm good at anything or that I'm passionate about anything. It's more so like everything is happy-go-lucky, kind of like things live transiently in my life. And that's not necessarily true. Like, there's certain things I think about all the time that I want to do all the time that I think fit me and I can fit in it pretty well. So, how to fix that in my head is to do things even when they're not perfect, to execute things even when they're not perfect, or if I'm not the most confident about it. The second thing that kind of goes into that is procrastination. I'll be thinking about doing something and it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days later before I actually get a move on it. And then the inconsistency kicks in, like I'll get distracted or distract myself, and then it'll be another week or so before I get back to it. So, how I plan to combat my procrastination is one, setting timers. I think I'm going to start with like small windows of time, like 20, 30 minutes, and then grow in increments of like 10 minutes or so. And then also is to put deadlines and things into my Google Calendar and then my Alexa as well for reminders. And then make myself like small written to-do lists between 3 to 5 tasks, because anything more than that, I'm going to get overwhelmed, create excuses, and just not do anything. The third thing is not prioritizing my aspirations. Like everyone else in the world, every other human, I am caught up in the rat race. I have bills to pay. I have people to take care of. I have a lifestyle to maintain, even though it isn't the ideal lifestyle for myself or that I see myself living. But I have to maintain, or as opposed to what? BSOL? Don't think so. So, outside of dedicating my precious, irrevocable time to someone else into some other entity, I plan to prioritize my own aspirations by one, pretty much the same thing with procrastination, a to-do list of 3 to 5 things, and then allotting the time to do so. Even when I'm not motivated, that's also something that gets me. And that's something I learned from other influencers. You got to do things even when you're not motivated. Like, it has to be, your aspirations can't just be aspirations. Like, they have to be habits, or you have to have habits that contribute, healthy habits that contribute to building your aspiration. That makes sense. And I know it does. So don't tell me it doesn't. Next, the fourth thing is second guessing myself. That's really self-explanatory. Like, sometimes I second guess myself. I don't really trust my instincts, so to speak. And that leads me to procrastinating, I'll say, because like I said, I think of things in my head, but it's like, because I know humans tend to not like anything new. Like, it can't be extremely new, like to the point where it's nearly unrecognizable. That's a point that another influencer made, is that the reason why you see a lot of cookie cutter type of content editing styles that are very similar, people who titles, are very similar, is because the average human, a human being in general, doesn't necessarily like change in a sense. Not to where it's excessively noticeable. Like, small changes over time and then seeing the world anew is one thing, but being like bombarded by a whole brand new idea, a whole new paradigm shift and way of living, it's upsetting to homeostasis. And outside of using all these big words and stuff, all this type of nomenclature, the point is that I still need to stop second guessing myself and just go ahead and putting myself out there. Searching for freelance work, applying for jobs or projects and collaborations, working on my own independent projects. I need to not second guess that and just go ahead, put myself out there, make it work, because all of those together are really the inconsistency, the procrastination, not prioritizing my dreams, and really just second guessing myself. All that is counterintuitive to what I want to pursue and who I want to be. And it's really leaving me stuck. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So pretty much, to wrap this all up, because we'll drink this whole bottle if I keep talking. But for me personally, the habits that I'm looking to forming in order to be more confident, more successful, and really just to have better habits is to be more consistent, to be more motivated, to kind of combat my procrastination, prioritize myself and my dreams, my aspirations. Like, I can't, yes, I need money and what have you, but I can't make someone else's commitment and demands for me more important than what I want for myself. And I need to stop second guessing myself, putting someone else's voice, or a voice that I don't trust, in the forefront. Like, I need to work on my positive self-talk, which, thinking about it, that is something that I talked about like 4 years ago in a previous New Year's resolution video. see, see, this is why it's like, who are me to judge? Okay? Who am I to judge you for backsliding, or maybe not being as committed or what have you, when I, myself, a human, do the same thing? We're in this together, boo. So for the new year, the focus on me, evergreen focal points are trusting my intuition, not to second guess myself. Also, to prioritize my dreams, my projects. Just go ahead and do it. That's what everybody say anyway, right? Every influencer, creator that I've ever met says that. What I tell y'all, pouring it again. It ain't even halfway gone, though. We good. Be consistent. Even when it's not perfect, even when I just don't know, even when I am second guessing, should I go ahead and post this? Should I make this more perfect? You know what? The deadline's here. Go ahead, boom, post it. And I need not to procrastinate. I need to make motivation a habit, make getting up and just doing something a habit. So while I'm sitting here drinking up under these warm lights and finishing up my delicious Rioja, I think I was thinking about making some Phillies. And I know I was like, this is my go-to, but this is really making me want seafood. Anyways, tell me in the comments if you have any New Year's resolutions or anything, that can happen at any point in your life, but right now, this is what you're focusing on. So this is what you're going to commit to. Put it in the comments. If you also need to be consistent, stop procrastinating, not second guess yourself, and prioritize your aspirations, put a heart in the comments so I know that we're on the same page. With that said, cheers, Happy New Year. I know usually that people are celebrating with champagne and what have you, but since this is cerebral and introspective, I'm having my Rioja, and it's very fitting. I call it my all-purpose wine, but it's very fitting for a calm, relaxed, pensive type of celebration. Until next time, y'all take it easy. Happy New Year. Best wishes for everything. All right. Bye.